It's Kate the Great, Kate the Conqueror, doing whatever to get through obstacles. She got a pocket full of love, some faith in a hug, and a little bit more than an ounce of dope. Kate the Great, Kate the Conqueror, doing whatever to get through obstacles. She got a
Right, so I cried about 5 times before even recording this video, but today we're gonna have story time. We're gonna talk about something that molded me into the woman I am today. So get your blankets, your shoes, your snacks, whatever makes you comfortable, so I could go ahead and go in depth into this story. I was abused. There's no doubt about it. I was abused. So my freshman year of being at Central State University, I had met somebody like my second semester. I'm not gonna say any names, but I met this particular human being. So I met him my second semester. We were hot and steamy at first. You know how you meet somebody, just be like, boom. You know, so the first time we hung out, it was cool. We stayed up all night. We were laughing, we were joking, we slept together. It was cool. And then the second day, I told my friend, I said, hey, what happened to that one guy? Da, da, da. She's like, oh, him. Da, da. She's like, you wanna do that? You could do that, girl. And she didn't know much. Nobody knew anything. Like, we all thought it was just like cool, and so I'm like, for sure. So got back with dude, and then like we were spending like every day together, and then literally a week afterwards he's like, you might as well be my girl. And I'm like, shit, you might as well be my dude. So we got together, and it was good. It was nice. I loved him, he loved me. We had vacation, and after vacation, we came back from vacation, and we would argue sometimes, but like we're arguing. So we're arguing, and I say some things and he says some things, and I'm like, da, 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 da. And then this man choked me. He choked me until I blacked out, and I didn't even know I was blacking out, but I blacked the fuck out. And then like I passed out, he let go, and I was like, He was like, get out of my room. You bring out my killer instincts. I said, what? Get out your room? You almost killed me? And I guess so after that, you would think a girl would break up with him, and it just led into one thing into another, and these choke outs, these slapping in the face, these punching me would led into a constant era of things, and it was constant. It was going, and it was a lot, man. I grew up in a household when my dad wasn't the best guy, and I know that my dad has grown into a better man, so I don't fault my father. I don't fault my parents for allowing me to see the stuff that I've seen growing up, but I grew up in a household as such. I'm not gonna act like my father didn't put his hands on my mother, and I'm not gonna act like those things didn't happen, but because it did. And so growing up in that environment, obviously I knew that it wasn't okay, but when you grow up in that environment and you out there searching for love and shit, you settle for the love you think you deserve. And evidently I thought I deserved that. My family didn't even know what I was going through as I was in school and stuff, and as I was dating this man, despite him putting his hand on me. And it was really embarrassing because my peers knew about it. Everybody knew that I was being touched, and some people would say things. A lot of my friends would say things, and they just wasn't really fucking with dude, to a point where I was risking a lot of friendships due to the fact that of me still entertaining this relationship. It get deeper than the physical abuse. There's mental abuse and there's emotional abuse too. Emotional abuse is just feeling like I was at fault in certain things, so I deserved being put through the physical abuse, and then it was mental abuse and making me feel like I wasn't good enough. I used to run track, and I used to write a lot, still do his homework, and I had quit the track team, and I stopped writing, and I stopped all my passions because I felt like I needed to fulfill and give my all into a relationship in which you know what they say, you have to make sure your cup is full before you go and pouring it out, you feel me? and pouring anything, you feel me? And so you have to be like a full ass cup before you try to pour anything out. And in a relationship, you shouldn't be the only one pouring. Somebody else should be pouring into you also, you feel me? So y'all should have like a balanced amount at all times, because a relationship is teamwork, because we're working together type shit. Outside of the love I thought I deserved, it was a point where I became pregnant. And that's where things got real juicy. He was just like real strict. Like all the male friends I had before, I couldn't have them. First semester, he was like, who you used to fuck on? He didn't like me hanging out with the opposite sex. I couldn't even talk to the opposite sex. It's college and I'm an attractive woman, so people are going to like try to talk to me, and it's like, that's completely possible of you thinking like, oh yeah, you can't talk to this person and you couldn't talk to that person. And it's like, we're in college, so we're gonna sleep around and stuff. So I used to sleep around, and then he used to be like, oh, you're a thought and stuff like that. And my friends, you know, they slept around too, and they were sleeping around. He's like, oh, you are who you hang around. And I'm like, I'm with you every day. Like, I don't understand, you know, like why you have to call me these things and make me feel as if like I'm this person type shit. And my daughter Rain came about in the situation. I was pregnant when we went on another break. We went on like we was over winter break. I only see him again, and then we get into it like already, and then this man kicked me in my stomach with our child. It's like one of the many, like I used to have like a busted lip, bruises on my arms. Like I used to try to like do like activities just to get away from this man, to a point where like I had went out with friends and I wasn't doing anything. I had just went out with friends. I'm still a college student at the end of the day. And I was like, hey, why not go out with friends, you know? So I come back and I didn't tell him that I was back, you know? And so he's banging on my door, and I just go to sleep. And so finally, one of my suite mates, she calls the RA like, this man is banging on our door. It was just bad because like, he would keep me locked in a room, and then like they tried to press, like he went to jail for the night. They tried to press a lot of charges on him, like kidnapping, and like it was a lot. Like the RAs got involved, the police got involved, and he went to jail for the night. And after that, by Monday he was done at Central State University. It's kind of like sleeping in somebody else's dorm, one of his friends' dorm still. In the midst of all that, I'm still pregnant on top of everything. It was just like a lot. Weekend I go home to go to Cleveland. I'm talking to him, but we're like together, but we're not together, because he feels as if it's my fault that I got him kicked out of school and stuff. And I'm like, you're still in a stable place and I'm still making sure I'm taking care of you and stuff. So I don't understand why, like, you know, like, why are you feeling this way towards me, or whatever the case may be. The last day there, I wake up and I'm cramping, tossing and turning all night anyway, because I'm like, I can't sleep. I slept on my parents' floor. I couldn't sleep. It was just too cold. I just couldn't sleep. And then I kept going to the restroom, having clear liquids coming out of my body. And then I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? I explained to my mother. She said, Kate, I think you're having your baby. Go to the hospital. They tried to take me to another hospital because they didn't know how to like take care of my situation. I was obviously miscarriaging, but they wanted to ask questions after questions, and they tried to take me to another one. And as soon as they put me in that truck, I had my daughter. Rushes back into that hospital, and then they tried to save her life, and her life wasn't saved. I miscarried. Y'all, it just sucks sometimes. The stinging thing of what God put me through, of losing my daughter and put me in a situation with a man who like loved me, but loved me so much. I loved that I felt like love had to hurt, and love does not have to hurt, y'all. It really doesn't fucking have to hurt. It doesn't have to hurt verbally. It doesn't have to hurt mentally. It doesn't have to hurt physically. Love doesn't hurt. And whoever tells you that is fucking wrong. Maybe your people you love hurt you sometimes, yes, but if it's constant behavior and there's not growth from it, it's not true sincerely. And so when I lost my daughter, immediately I was like, we don't have anything to be with. I was raised in a household like where my mom was unhappy with her relationship with my father, and she would be like, I'm with him because I didn't want y'all to grow up without a father. And I knew that like God foreseen me in a better situation, and knowing that I didn't have to remain here and to repeat generational curses of I'm with this man for the sake of my child. And so I felt like that's why I was put through that. Know that I'm better than staying with him. And so I'm not going to hold you. It was hard to break off because my family didn't know what he was putting me through down at Central State. Yeah, that's my story. I was abused. I was abused physically, mentally, verbally, and emotionally. Does it stick with me every day? It does, because I feel like I had to grow from that to understand what I needed to be today. That's why my theme song you hear Cake the Great, Cake the Conqueror, because I feel like I'm made to be a conqueror, to battle these situations of which I face, and to make me into a better woman. Growing motherfucking pains. Growing pains. I obviously to this day I'm still healing. I'm not gonna lie, act like I'm not healing. Like I'm still healing, and there is no time frame on healing. There is no time frame on anything of that matter. Anybody who tells you, oh, it just took me 6 months, or that's them, but don't ever feel like you need a particular time frame on healing and, like, you know, dealing with those kind of things. Last relationship before God, I kind of brought some of those traumas within that, because like I was insecure. I feel like I wasn't good enough. I look good enough. Am I not good enough? Like, what can I do to become great enough? And I didn't feel good enough. I brought that stuff, insecurity, unhappiness, a lot of trauma into my old relationship that he didn't deserve that. But then there was also like a great amount of things that like I was like finally growing from. And so I grow each and every day from the shit that that man put me through, you know. And I feel as if like I applaud anybody within romantic partners and friendship that still like stick by my side within those moments, because it's hard to be associated with somebody who survived from those kind of things, because you're kind of questioning motives. Like, okay, so he's with me right now, but how long is he with me? Do you want to end things on the matter of fact that I'm not good enough? And the constant, like, I know it gets exhausting to have a partner that needs constant reassurance that, oh yeah, you're okay, you're good enough, and stuff like that. I've grown from a lot of things. I am not the woman I was 2018 or even yesterday, or those moments when I was with people or dating in relationships with people who have dealt with me post that relationship, you know. And some days, like, it gets harder than others, but other days I'm okay and I'm on top of the world. I will never diminish myself for the things that I've gone through. I embrace my struggle. I was abused, and I'm really happy that I've like learned and grown from those things. I was really sad out. Like, I was like drinking a lot and like smoking a lot, but like afterwards, like I just like, I don't know, I grew from it. I learned from it. But I'm Kate the Great. If you ever need someone to talk to, vent to, tell about these things, about like abuse, talk to me. I will really let you get my fucking phone number, because abuse is not cool, bro. And shit, man, just stay safe out there and get to know your partner. Make them your friend before you get in a relationship with them, because that's really important. Shit. I love y'all.
It's Cake the Great, Cake the Conqueror, doing whatever to get through obstacles. She got a pocket full of love, some faith in a hug, and a little bit more.